If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. Or should I say, this is a call for the science guy.
Science rules.
Built by the science guy.
Inertia is a property of matter.
Build.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Just like those failed optometrists, I'm a failed scientist. I always wanted to be a scientist because, science is so cool, right? Oh, man, science is the worst. But today, because I know how you all feel about it too, there is obviously real things involved with science, right? Obviously, we know that, right? But I think people like us, Christians, just never really cared because why do you want to learn these? Oh, well, for the advancement of society and all this other crap that they tell you and why we need to do this and do that. Fine. Okay, well, I know how boring it is to listen to science teachers and science guys. So I'm going to give you a small science lesson here. And I want to talk about carbon and I want to talk about graphene. And you want to know why I want to talk about it? Well, because of a magic potion ride. That's right. And you'll be able to connect the dots. So let's start. For those of you, just clear your head. We'll do this nice and easy. And I'll try to make sure these people who speak are nice and simple and quick and to the point as I edit this. Let's start with carbon. What is carbon?
That one element. Carbon. Carbon is at the center of it all. There is no life without carbon. Nowhere. Everything that lives, lived, will live, carbon.
Okay, that's carbon, right? Now, you'll be surprised to know that carbon, well, I'll just let her tell you herself about carbon and graphene.
Carbon is an essential element of life and is also one of the most abundant elements on Earth. Carbon occupies a place in the second row of the periodic table, right above silicon. A single carbon atom consists of 6 protons, 6 or 7 neutrons, and 6 electrons. 6 protons, 6 or 7 neutrons, and 6 electrons.
Whoa, what did she say? Did she say 6 or 7, and 6? Let me just look that up. No, that would be 6 protons, 6 electrons, and 6 neutrons. That's pretty interesting when you think about it, right? Because that's an interesting number that, he with knowledge will understand, right? When it comes to this mark that's potentially coming at some point. Not saying one way or other this is or isn't, but remember with the manipulation of your body and the control of the DNA, well, listen to this scientist continue.
A well-known example of carbon is the tip of pencils. The tip of pencils consists of graphite, which refers to a collection of carbon atoms, layers of carbon atoms. Each layer of the carbon atoms form a honeycomb structure, which is called graphene. Although scientists know that graphene layers are the constituents for graphite, but for years they were not sure whether a monolayer of graphene can be isolated in nature. Until 2004, when 2 British physicists finally demonstrated that a single atomic layer of graphene can be isolated and stabilized in nature. The excellent electrical and thermal conductivity combining with the optical transparency makes it possible for graphene to be applied to nanoelectronics in integrated circuits, to optoelectronic components like solar cells, light-emitting diodes, lasers, and display panels. The flexible and strong mechanical properties of graphene can be used for lightweight, high-strength materials applicable to things such as transportation vehicles, airplanes. The excellent chemical filtering capabilities of graphene makes it possible for graphene to be used in desalination, detoxification, chemical sensing, DNA sequencing. So here I will give you two examples of our ongoing research to give you a flavor of what can be done. The first example is a little exotic. It's called nanoscale strain engineering of graphene. The purpose is for novel optoelectronic applications. One of the most interesting properties of graphene is that if you distort the structure of graphene at the nanoscale, you can actually fundamentally change the electronic properties of graphene. And so now we have essentially flawless pieces of graphene. I can use nanofabrication technology to build nanostructures wherever I want them to be with whatever shapes I want them to be. Then I can lay a layer of graphene over such nanostructures to produce the distortion that I want, and therefore I can get the electronic properties that I want.
Oh, this is very interesting stuff. Very interesting. She even went as far to talk about DNA sequencing. Okay, so this compound that they've discovered, this carbon compound, graphene, which happens to have 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, just so happens to be the future. You know, they're saying it everywhere. Just look it up. It's the miracle cure. It's the miracle. It's gonna solve water crises. You know, you can be able to take ocean water and turn it into regular tap water. It's gonna solve everything. This carbon graphene that they've just recently, wink wink, discovered, although they've just recently gotten this thing mastered and they're currently testing it out. I won't tell you how, but I think you know how. On humans, right? So then you could think about that and you could say, Cole, okay, so this stuff can manipulate, this is cool. I mean, it's electromagnetic. You know, we've seen phones react to it and stuff like that. Okay, right. Now, let me play a little clip here from Rice University because they're really into the graphene technology. Your tax money at work, I believe, or your university dollars, one way or the other. They were so excited for graphene that they wanted you to experiment with it on your food. Why do you ask? I have no idea. Think about it.
We've been able to make graphene on many different substrates. Previously, we could only make graphene on materials that were like polyimide, a particular type of polymer. But now what we found is by tuning the laser a little bit differently and defocusing the laser, which first carbonizes the material, and then we take the carbonized material and convert it into graphene. So what you see here is you don't see ink. This is not ink. This is not the addition of ink to a material. This is taking the material itself, the wood itself, and converting it into graphene. And the laser allows us to write it into any pattern that we wish. This is on a piece of wood, or we can do it even on foods, like this is a potato. So remember what graphene is. It's these single atomic thick sheets of graphite, and now we take these and we put a few of them on top of each other as we convert the material itself, a piece of bread, and so you can convert the carbohydrates that are within bread to graphene, or we can do it on a coconut, so you can take a coconut and convert that into graphene. Now, why would we want to have something like this? This is all conductive, and so it can conduct electricity. So what we can do now is we can make electronics embedded within fabrics. Why would one want edible electronics? Well, first of all, let me start with, very often we don't see the advantage of something early on, but when we make it available, people start seeing the real advantage. So can you even have electronics embedded on food and then say use this as a heat circuit to heat the food more easily? If there's, say, an RFID tag written onto this potato, where has it been, how long has it been stored, what's its country of origin and its city of origin, and what path did it go to get to your table. All that can be embedded not on a separate tag that's placed on the food, but directly on the food itself. And these can also have sensors that would detect E. coli, sensors that would detect microorganisms that you might not want. They could immediately light up and give you a signal that you don't want to eat this. So being able to barcode food, in a sense, could have real advantages.
Okay, so they're experimenting even with getting graphene on your food. Now, what is the point of this? Oh, they want it inside your body. Right. And then you think about it. Because, I know somebody, I have a friend who even told me that they were, magnetic to stuff and they didn't get a magic potion. So wouldn't that kind of explain why regular people who don't even have it are having this problem? Because, graphene's, okay, magnetic, electric current, interesting. Now, what in the world, could trigger these things and turn these things on, right? Kind of like that clip I showed you from Stretch Armstrong, right? The smart mark. What in the world there's these towers that are going up and there's these massive colliders. You remember our old friends at CERN? Remember them? We was always, yep. Remember them? The destroyer outside, the Kali, the Shiva, whatever outside? Yeah. Interesting. They didn't have the power to charge this, right? So by charging this and then having this possibly inside, it could almost make you think you could live forever. All right, because that's always been the goal, to try to live forever, to try to not face what's coming. But they're going to face it one way or the other. And remember this verse from the book of Revelation, chapter 9, verse 6. In those days, men will seek death and will not find it. They will long to die, but death will not escape them. It's kind of interesting when you start piecing things together and where we're headed right now and why it's important to talk about this stuff right now especially and to prepare. Don't forget, these people believe that they're going to defeat God on Judgment Day. They're convinced of it through technology. They've been brainwashing people with superheroes and, you could be, what's your superpower? I've been talking about it for years. Why do you think that is? Just creative art? What is it, art for dorks? I mean, come on. What's your super? I want to fly. Interesting. Well, as they've said, with this type of technology, you could be like Iron Man. You could be bulletproof. That's the type of stuff that graphene can do. Just a matter of getting it in your body. You put those dots together and connect it and see where we're headed as we head towards what will be the mark. I hope this video helped you in some way. I have other videos on the topic, and there'll be more that I'm trying to word to get up, It's kind of not easy, but got to figure out how. But I have other videos. If you haven't seen them, watch them. Share them. Let people know. Now you know why people are lighting up a little bit? All right. Wondering what's going on with those who don't and seeing how they're experimenting with it on your food? You got to ask, well, if it doesn't taste good, does this taste like, does this taste like the world's greatest, ice cream? No, it even makes it sound like it doesn't even taste good. So why does it need to be on my food? I'm not interested in being electromagnetic, are you? We want to see what people will be like. And people can connect with their technology and our smart cities. All right, now it makes sense, right? Crazy time to be alive, but it's happening. So we all got to man up and be prepared. I want to thank you guys for listening to today's show. Reminder, check out the website at callfornuprising.com. I have a video up over there. Just going up on our Department of Homeland Security. They let us know about a potential warning coming up on a specific date. Yeah, that they really like. 20-year anniversary, too. Interesting. Wonder what they have planned. Phew. Oh, man. Yep. So you can find that over on the website. And besides that, there's great stuff over there in the forum. You can learn, share your videos, share stuff you see. Really good stuff over there. So check it out. If you haven't, I want to thank the Patreons because you, it keeps me here on YouTube. So please consider becoming one if you're not. If you want a way to contribute to the channel, that's a way you can. It's greatly appreciated. And I want to thank all of you for being here. and your kind words and support. Appreciate all of you greatly. God bless you and your families.